Welcome to Gripping Tales. Are you ready for today's video? It starts now.
What if the device you use to keep your child safe is the very thing putting them in danger? Baby monitors are supposed to give parents peace of mind. You put your infant down to sleep, turn on the camera, and watch from the next room, or from across the house, knowing your child is safe. But for some parents, checking that monitor has revealed their worst nightmares. Tonight I'm sharing 10 disturbing things caught on baby monitor cameras. These aren't fictional horror stories. These are real incidents, documented, investigated, and in many cases, captured on video that went viral. From hackers speaking directly to children in the middle of the night, to unexplained figures appearing in nurseries. These stories will make you question whether that camera is protecting your child or exposing them. Let's begin with story number 1, Wake Up Baby. In April 2014, Adam and Heather Schreck of Cincinnati, Ohio were downstairs in their home when they heard something that made their blood run cold. A man's voice, screaming, coming from their 10-month-old daughter Emma's room. Adam ran upstairs and burst into the nursery. Emma was awake, crying hysterically, but no one else was in the room. The voice was coming from the baby monitor. "Wake up, baby! Wake up, baby!" the stranger screamed through the speaker. Then the camera, a Foscam wireless IP camera, moved. It rotated toward Adam, tracking his movement across the room. And the voice changed tone. "Someone's coming," the hacker said, now speaking directly to Adam. Adam immediately unplugged the camera. He and Heather called the police and contacted the manufacturer. What they learned was disturbing. Their baby monitor had been hacked. Someone, somewhere, had accessed their camera through their Wi-Fi network and had been watching their daughter, possibly for days, possibly longer. Foscam admitted there was a firmware vulnerability, outdated software that made their cameras easy to hack. They released a security update, but the damage was done. The Schrecks threw the camera away and never used a Wi-Fi connected monitor again. But the psychological damage lasted longer. Heather told reporters she couldn't stop thinking about who had been watching her daughter, what they'd seen, whether they'd recorded anything, and, most terrifying, whether this person was someone nearby, watching their house, or a stranger halfway across the world with a sick obsession. The Schrecks never got answers. The hacker was never identified, and to this day, they don't know how long someone had access to their baby's room before they finally heard the voice that revealed the truth. Here's story number 2, I Love You, Jaden. In November 2019, a Seattle couple, who asked to be identified only as Joe and John, experienced every parent's nightmare. It was late evening. Joe and John were downstairs working when their 3-year-old daughter, Jaden, called out from her bedroom. "Mommy! Mommy! The voice is talking to me!" Joe ran upstairs. "What's going on?" she asked. The man said, "Jaden, I love you," her daughter replied. Joe's heart stopped. She checked the room. No one was there. Then she looked at the baby monitor, a Frady brand Wi-Fi camera, and noticed something wrong. The camera had moved. It wasn't pointing down into the crib like it normally did. It was angled up, scanning the room. Someone had hacked their camera. Someone had been watching their daughter, and someone had spoken to her, using her name. Joe immediately unplugged the monitor and called the police. She also called John, and together they discovered something even more disturbing. The camera could be remotely controlled. Whoever hacked it could pan, tilt, and zoom. They could see the entire room. And they'd clearly been watching long enough to learn their daughter's name. Seattle police took a report, but a spokesperson later said they weren't aware of an open investigation. Joe and John also filed a report with the FBI, but they never received follow-up. Research revealed that Frady cameras had been criticized since 2018 for having weak security. The manufacturer, a Chinese company, made devices that were comparatively easy to hack. And despite complaints, the cameras remained on the market. Joe told reporters the incident left her feeling violated. "Someone was in our daughter's room, basically watched her," she said. "And I don't know what all they saw. Is it the fear alone they're enjoying? It's just so unsettling to not know." The family hasn't used a Wi-Fi baby monitor since. Joe says she can't shake the feeling that someone is still watching, even though the camera is gone. And Jaden, now older, still remembers the voice that said "I love you" in the middle of the night. She remembers it wasn't mommy or daddy. It was a stranger, and she'll never forget. And now for story number 3, The Bad Guy. This story comes from a Louisville, Kentucky family whose child gave their hacked baby monitor a name, Bad Guy. The parents, who remained anonymous for safety reasons, began noticing their young son was waking up frightened in the middle of the night. He'd cry and refuse to go back to sleep. When they asked what was wrong, he'd point at the camera and say, "Bad guy." At first, the parents thought he was afraid of the camera itself, that maybe the red recording light scared him, or the lens looked like an eye. But the child insisted, "Bad guy talks to me." The parents reviewed footage and audio logs from the monitor. What they found made them sick. A stranger's voice, asking their son questions. "What's your name? How old are you? Where's mommy?" The voice was calm, almost friendly, like someone trying to build trust with a child. And the worst part? The child had been answering. The parents immediately contacted police and unplugged the monitor. Investigators traced the breach to their Wi-Fi network. The hacker had gained access through weak password security, but they couldn't identify who the hacker was or where they were located. The family threw the monitor away and installed a non-Wi-Fi audio-only monitor. But their son still talks about bad guys sometimes. He'll point at corners of his room and say, "Bad guy's not here anymore, right?" And the parents always say yes, but they're never completely sure. Because whoever hacked that camera knew their son's face, knew his voice, and potentially recorded every conversation they had with him for weeks. That footage is somewhere, on someone's device, being watched, being shared, being kept for reasons the parents don't want to imagine. Moving on to story number 4, the ghostly hand. In February 2024, a father named Grave from South Yorkshire, England, checked his baby monitor and saw something that made him question reality. It was his 9-month-old son's first night sleeping alone. Grave and his wife had just set up the camera that evening. Around midnight, Grave glanced at the monitor feed on his phone. What he saw made his breath catch. A hand. A pale, ghostly hand reaching into his son's crib. Grave immediately thought it must be his wife checking on the baby. But his wife was asleep next to him. He replayed the footage. The hand was there, clear as day, reaching toward his infant son. But it wasn't his wife's hand. His wife always wore a Pandora bracelet. The hand in the video had no bracelet, no jewelry at all. Grave posted the footage online, asking for explanations. The video went viral. Thousands of people weighed in. Some said it was camera lag, a delayed frame showing his wife's hand from an earlier check-in. Others said it was paranormal, a spirit reaching for the child. But Grave tested the lag theory. It didn't match. The hand appeared when neither parent was in the room, and frame-by-frame analysis showed the hand had an unnatural quality, almost translucent in the infrared light. Grave never got a definitive answer. Paranormal investigators told him that infants are receptive to spirits, and that baby monitors, which use electromagnetic frequencies, can sometimes capture things the human eye can't see. Whether you believe that or not, one thing is certain. Grave will never forget the image of that hand reaching for his son. And every time he checks the monitor now, part of him wonders if he'll see it again. Story number 5 is called The Orbs. In May 2020, a mother named Erica Danielle posted a TikTok video that would go viral with over 16 million views. The caption read, "We have paranormal things happen a lot in our home." The footage showed her toddler son sleeping in his crib. Everything appeared normal at first. Then the child's left leg jerked. He began to stir, pushing himself up to sit. And as he rose, something else rose with him. A small orb of light, bright, circular, distinct, floated upward from the child's body, hovered for a moment, then disappeared. Commenters exploded with theories. The orb went straight up when the baby woke up, one user noted. Left leg was tugged to wake the baby, then the orb. Very interesting, wrote another. Skeptics argued it was dust reflecting infrared light, or a bug flying close to the camera lens, but Erica insisted it wasn't dust. She'd captured multiple instances of orbs on her baby monitor, always moving with purpose, always appearing when her son stirred. Paranormal experts weigh in on orbs frequently. Some believe they're spirits' loved ones who've passed, checking on the living. Others think they're angels, assigned to protect children. And some think they're something else entirely. Entities we don't have names for. Erica posted follow-up videos showing more orbs, more movement, more unexplained phenomena in her son's room. Each video fueled the debate. Is this paranormal activity? Or is it something explainable that just looks creepy in night vision? But here's what makes this story unsettling. Erica's son, when he got old enough to talk, started mentioning the lights in his room. He'd point at empty space and say, "The lights are here." He wasn't scared, but he knew they were there. And his parents couldn't see them, only the camera could. So to story number 6, the voice in the monitor. Not all baby monitors have video. Some parents prefer audio-only monitors. They're cheaper, simpler, and harder to hack. But as one mother learned in 2015, audio monitors can be just as terrifying. The woman, who posted her experience on YouTube, recorded the sounds coming through her baby's audio monitor. In the video, she explains that she doesn't know what the noise is. She's changed batteries, switched frequencies, checked every possible source. But the sound persists. It's music, children's music, but slowed down, distorted, like a toy playing a lullaby with dying batteries, but worse, more deliberate. And every time the music stops, her baby wakes up crying. The woman went through her baby's room, removing batteries from every toy. She checked neighbors' monitors, thinking she might be picking up someone else's signal. Nothing explained it. Commenters on her video suggested paranormal causes. One wrote, "That's not interference, that's something trying to communicate." Another shared their own experience. "I threw ours away. I would hear someone humming a lullaby and growling. My daughter went in bed with me, and the monitor went into the garbage." Audio-only monitors are particularly vulnerable to frequency interference. Radio signals, walkie-talkies, even cell towers can bleed through. But the woman's monitor was on a private frequency. And the music was always the same. Always slowed. Always stopping right before her baby woke. She eventually stopped using the monitor entirely. She said she couldn't handle the psychological toll, lying in bed, listening to that distorted music, knowing it would stop, and her baby would scream. To this day, she doesn't know what caused it. And honestly, that might be for the best. Because sometimes, not knowing is better than finding out the truth. Story number 7 is about the standing child. In 2016, a video appeared on YouTube showing a toddler doing something that should have been impossible. The child, around 18 months old, was standing in his crib, but not just standing, balancing. On the very edge of the crib railing, arms out, body perfectly still, like he was standing on a tightrope. At his age, most toddlers can barely walk without falling, but this child was balanced on a surface less than 2 inches wide, not moving, not wobbling, just standing. And then he started shrieking. Not crying, not fussing, shrieking. High-pitched, guttural sounds that didn't sound like a child at all. The shrieks got louder as he maintained his balance, his body rigid, his arms stretched out. The parents who posted the video said they couldn't explain it. They'd heard the shrieks on the monitor and rushed to his room, but by the time they arrived, he was lying down, sleeping peacefully. Commenters analyzed the footage frame by frame. Some claimed the child was holding on to something invisible, that his hands were positioned like he was gripping a rail or rope that wasn't there. Others said it looked like he was being held up by something. Skeptics argued it was just a skilled toddler with good balance, captured at an odd angle. But parents who watched the video said it didn't look natural. Children that age don't stand like that. They don't balance like that. And they certainly don't make sounds like that. The video was eventually taken down by the family, but it had already spread across forums and horror communities. People saved copies. And to this day, debates continue about what the child was holding on to, or what was holding him. Next, it's story number 8, the ghost baby. In October 2019, a mother named Maritza Sibbles was checking her baby monitor when she saw something that made her do a double take. Her 18-month-old son, Lincoln, was sleeping peacefully in his crib, but next to him, clearly visible on the monitor, was another baby. The figure was baby-sized, baby-shaped, lying on its back exactly like an infant would. But it wasn't Lincoln, it was beside Lincoln, a second baby that shouldn't exist. Maritza took a screenshot and posted it to a Facebook mom group, asking, "Do you guys see the baby, or am I crazy?" Other moms confirmed, yes, they saw it. It looked like another infant lying in the crib. Maritza immediately went to Lincoln's room to investigate. She used her phone's flashlight, feeling around the crib, checking for stains, shadows, anything that could explain the shape. She found nothing. No drool stain, no shadow, no object that resembled a baby. But on the monitor, the figure was unmistakable. The story went viral. News outlets picked it up. Skeptics suggested it was a stain on the mattress. Pareidolia, the human tendency to see faces and figures in random patterns. One expert analyzed the image and suggested it might be the way the sheet draped over a tag or seam. Maritza later discovered that her husband had forgotten to remove a tag from the top of the mattress, a tag that featured a baby's face. When combined with fabric folds and night vision, it created the illusion of a second infant. Mystery solved, right? Except Maritza said the tag explanation didn't fully account for the body shape, the way the baby appeared to have arms, legs, a torso. The tag was just a face. It didn't explain the rest. And other parents started sharing their own ghost baby photos. Images captured on monitors showing infant-shaped figures that shouldn't be there. Some had explanations, others didn't. It raises an unsettling question. How many parents have seen something on their baby monitor, dismissed it as a trick of the light, and never investigated further? And what if some of those figures aren't tricks at all? And so to the second last, which is story number 9, the Santa Claus hackers. In December 2019, an 8-year-old girl in Mississippi was in her bedroom when she heard music playing. She looked around, confused, and then heard a voice. "I'm Santa Claus," the voice said. "Don't you want to be my best friend?" The voice was coming from the Ring camera her parents had set up in her room to use as a baby monitor. The girl was terrified. She called for her parents. When they came running, the hacker, still connected to the camera, taunted them. "I'm your best friend," he said. "I'm Santa Claus." The father immediately unplugged the camera. But the damage was done. His daughter was traumatized. She refused to sleep in her room. She had nightmares about Santa Claus, a figure that should represent joy, becoming a source of terror. This incident became part of a federal complaint against Ring, prosecutors wrote. Breaking into a Ring account grants access to exceptionally intimate and private parts of someone's life. The inside of their homes, sometimes their bedrooms. Ring maintained that their system wasn't breached, that the hacker had gained access through weak passwords or credential stuffing, using leaked passwords from other sites. They introduced two-factor authentication to improve security. But for the families affected, the explanation didn't matter. The fact remained. Someone had accessed their cameras, watched their children, and spoken to them. And in some cases, these hackers specifically targeted children, using friendly personas, Santa Claus, friendly voices, to build trust before revealing their true intentions. The 8-year-old girl eventually recovered, but her parents said she still checks corners of her room, still asks if anyone can see her through devices. The psychological scars remain. And the hacker? Never caught, never identified, just another anonymous predator in a digital world where cameras meant to protect children can become weapons against them. And here's the creepy last, story number 10, the Owlet incident. In March 2025, a mother named Kelsey Rose Thomas posted a TikTok video that quickly went viral. Her 2-year-old son had been an all-star sleeper his entire life, until suddenly, he started waking up every night at the same time, screaming in absolute terror. Kelsey and her husband couldn't figure it out. Bad dreams? Sleep regression? Fear of the dark? Nothing explained the sudden, consistent panic. Then Kelsey started to suspect their Owlet baby monitor, a smart camera that streams footage through Wi-Fi. She checked the security logs and discovered something horrifying. Multiple users had been logged into their account. Strangers. Watching their son. Possibly for weeks. The camera had been hacked through their Wi-Fi router. Someone had been accessing the feed, watching their child sleep, and potentially speaking to him through the two-way audio feature. Kelsey immediately unplugged the camera and reset their entire network. But the realization haunted her. Her son's sudden terror wasn't random. He'd been waking up screaming because someone was talking to him. Someone he couldn't see. A voice coming from the camera, speaking to him in the dark. The family filed reports with both Owlet and local authorities. Cybersecurity experts confirmed that most baby monitor hacks are user security errors, weak passwords, outdated firmware, compromised email accounts. But that didn't make Kelsey feel better. Her son was 2 years old. He couldn't articulate what the voice said to him. He just knew it scared him. And now, every time he sees a camera, he gets anxious. Kelsey's video served as a warning to other parents. Check your security settings. Use strong passwords. Update firmware regularly, because the device you trust to keep your child safe might be the very thing putting them in danger. So there you have it. 10 disturbing things caught on baby monitor cameras. From hackers speaking directly to children, to paranormal phenomena captured on night vision, to security breaches that exposed families to predators. These stories prove that baby monitors, while designed to protect, can become tools of terror. If you use a baby monitor, here's what you need to do. Use strong, unique passwords. Don't use the same password for your monitor that you use for other accounts. Enable two-factor authentication if available. Update firmware regularly. Manufacturers release security patches, use them. Avoid Wi-Fi monitors if possible. Local-only monitors can't be hacked remotely. Cover or unplug cameras when not in use. Check your device logs for unauthorized access. Your child's safety depends on it, because the person watching your baby monitor might not be you. It might be a stranger halfway across the world, or something closer, something you can't see, but your camera can.
Thanks for watching. Every ending hides the beginning of another tale, and ours is already on its way. Stay tuned. You'll find the next chapter right here, and soon.